one of the next segments was an example of how to completely neuter and neutralize the hottest guy in the company, because Renee was sitting down with Bryan Danielson and Wheeler Useless. And yeah, I'm not, as I said before, I'm not getting the sense that Renee is the second coming of Barbara Walters, this incisive, female reporter, but she's better than Officer Barbrady. However, this was Bryan Danielson, who, remember, it's less than a year still ago that he was the highlight of the program. We couldn't wait to hear the promos, the fucking matches. Now he's sitting there spinning this whole promo, putting Daniel Garcia over, and sounded like he was thrilled about it. And then Wheeler Useless basically tells Bryan Danielson off. You should have seen it coming a mile away, this thing with Garcia. I knew he was a snake. You fell for it. And he tells Bryan Danielson off and walks off from him like now Danielson is Wheeler's fucking flunky. Jesus H. Christ. And that was the most blah segment that Bryan Danielson has been in since they have figured out a way to make Danielson boring and immaterial.
Well, a few things here. One, the less Yuta talks, the better. If you want him to get over, he has like that Seth Rollins screech a little bit. Not a good talker. Certainly not now. Danielson sat there, and I feel like in a lot of ways this was a microcosm of his entire AEW run. He just sat there and let things happen. And that's that. Does Danielson exert himself? Does Danielson have ideas of his own? Is he happy with the way he's being booked? Is he just content? He's just happy to have a job and he can have his matches and he doesn't care about how he's booked? Because none of this makes any sense. He means so much less today than he meant a year ago. And when he came in a year ago, we were talking about, oh my God, the biggest gate they could do would be Danielson versus Punk. This would be the biggest house. If they did that match today, if Punk came back today to wrestle against Danielson, it wouldn't mean as much. Not because of Punk, but because of the way Danielson's been used. He's lost to Jericho a bunch of times.
And not because of Danielson, because of the way Danielson's been used. He's still that talent, but now they've rendered it meaningless.
Yeah, but even his matches, to me, like I said before, they've gotten less creative than ever before. The other problem is, talent be damned. And actually, I think Garcia is a lot more talented than Yuta. But Tony, fucking Jericho, even Moxley, they are insistent on building towards Yuta and Garcia like this matters to anyone right now. They have forced these guys into spots and into being involved with other main event wrestlers. They've forced them into these spots when there were other people the fans chose and were ready to go. And this is the problem when you have too many people, you have too many cooks. Everyone has their person that they want to use, whether it's right or wrong. I'm not saying Yuta couldn't be something eventually. Garcia, I think, has much more potential than Yuta. But still, the way he's been used and how he's been used and how he's being forced onto that show, that's the problem. Yuta and Garcia have been picked by these guys, by Tony and his friends, and they're not giving up on this, whether or not it's good TV or not.